Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and this will be my analysis of popular futures markets that a lot of traders are out there involved with. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a quick clarification. I'll be using the 1 hour time frame, so if you're new to charts, that just means that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 1 hour's worth of time. So first market we're going to take a look at is the NQ, and as a reminder, if you trade the MNQ, everything's the same, the patterns and everything, so you can apply what I'm talking about here right to the MNQ. But overall, the levels that I talked about previously definitely played a role today and are still holding. I am going to make one adjustment. So for those of you that did watch a previous video, talked about this 21,420 as an area of support, and it did ultimately provide support. A couple times there was false breakdowns, but every time the bull stepped back up and pushed the price upwards. But now that we have a little bit more data, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area down to right there and call the new key area of support right there at the 386 mark. So 386, in fact, if you go back here, you can see that's right where the price bounced from there. And then basically a couple times right there. So any sort of rollover right there, 386 will be a key level. Now, in the event this level is broken, no guarantees, but I think it's very valid, very rational that the price could head down there and retest the 102, let's just call it the 100 mark right there. So 21,100 at that level. Again, no guarantees, but there is quite a bit of space that opens up here. So I could see the bears picking up some momentum if that level there were to fail. On the flip side of things, if this is going to try to work its way upwards, as right now in the very near term, you can see that 200 period average is acting pretty stubborn. Sure, the price got up above it here, but you can see the bulls just can never get any separation to go up there and do battle with that next level there. So you want to, kind of keep an eye on that. Even if the price does break above the pink line, there is a track record of it kind of getting stuck there. If that's, like a piece of gum, get kind of stuck in the gum and then eventually went back down. But if the price can get a nice clean break of it, next key area of resistance right up there at the 772 mark, and then up there at 22,080. So overall, though, the price is hanging in there. Yeah, a bit of a pullback. Yes, there was the FOMC today, but all things considered, from the bigger picture point of view, the price is still building higher bases. So from the bullish standpoint, that's what's all about. Over extended periods of time, you just want to see those higher lows. Next one here, looking at the ES, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but if you did, two key levels I talked about. First one being right there, and you can see that that level did ultimately provide resistance earlier on in the session, and that is right there at the 106 mark. So if there is any sort of bounce, 106 will be that first key level, and then the next level up there at 122, but also in the previous video, more so I think just to call this a resistance zone is the most accurate way to represent that. But yeah, you can see it did indeed act as a zone. The front part of it right there is what ultimately rejected the price, which brings us to the next part that, assuming you watched yesterday's video, hopefully you remember, but put that trend line in play right there. And was it perfect? It was not, but it is illustrating that as right now, the price is respecting that trend line. So the shorts is pretty tricky because people that got short right there, they got fooled. People that got short again, they got fooled. So if you are on the bearish side of things, this trend line is telling us to be careful because there's been a couple faulty breakdowns of it. But if the price can push down and then break that low right there, at that point, I would take that as a leading indicator that, yeah, this is a legitimate breakdown of the line, and then you could potentially get more downside pressure. So keep an eye on that in terms of, the areas of kind of that would signal a bigger move to the downside. So in the event that trend line is finally broken, where could a target very realistically be? And I think down around the 6,000 mark, you could see the price set. Again, not guaranteed, but there is quite a bit of, kind of space here where things open up and you could find some downwards pressure. But it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out and whether or not the price will continue to hold this trend line or if the bears can take back over and get the push down through. Next one here, the YM, so the Dow Jones, and this one finally pulled back a little bit more. This one is, as I've said in the past video, has been kind of doing its own thing. And overall, though, this trend line here that I talked about, it tried to hold, it never quite could. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because we got confirmation that, the level that a lot more people are going to be watching now is indeed going to be at 44,735. Not necessarily because that's where it bounced here, but when you go back here, that is where it's bounced before. So for those of you that have watched the past videos, congratulations to any of you that were watching that video and you noticed as this came down, hey, I'm gonna pick up some longs. I'm gonna pick up or go long into this area of support because you got an absolutely beautiful bounce. So congratulations to those of you. So moving forward, though, 735 remains that key area of support. And then just from the overarching standpoint, main area of support you'll want to keep a close eye on is that pink line right there, the 200 period simple moving average. And then in terms of areas of resistance, again, we'll mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but I threw that level in there up around the 153 mark and the power of charts. Price came up there, and that is exactly right where it got rejected back down. So if there is any sort of attempted curl back up, then yeah, that'll be the main question mark. Can the bulls bring enough A game to be able to push up through there? We'll see what happens. Now we're going to move away from the indices and hop into some commodities, specifically here oil and crude oil, CL. And we had this big old wedge that had formed, and you can see that previous session here, price broke above it. Try to get up through there, but the purple line there, that 50-period moving average, smacked it back down, and then there's where the true bearish move happened. So yeah, I got a pretty clean-cut break of that downwards channel. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because really this trend line here, I think will still be relevant moving forward. So I'm just going to extend that out, and we're going to continue to watch that. I'm actually going to just get rid of that level up there as it served its purpose, and I don't want to have a million lines everywhere. But the level here that you got to think a lot of, because I think I'm doing, this is the naked eyeball test, but so let's change this to green for support. But did the price do a double bottom off that? Close, very, very close. And for all argument's sake, yes, it basically did double bottom off this area here. So you can see this support right there at 72.37, and that's basically right where the price found some support here. So a very valid question moving forward is this going to be some sort of double bottom? Now, there's no guarantees that it's going to double bottom and get more continuation, but so far so good. Step one has been completed. It did respect the previous low right there. Now it's all about step two. Is it going to get more momentum? And if it is going to get more momentum, then the glaring enemy hanging up overhead is going to be that purple line there, which has been a very, very stubborn level for oil over the past several days. But even if the price does break above there, you don't want to get too excited because you then have that resistance trend line right there. But to be fair and give credit where credit's due, the bulls did a good job of respecting that, of providing support, got a little bit of a bounce. So yeah, this next session going to be very interesting in terms of can this bounce generate more upside pressure. And now we'll hop over into the precious metal side of things, and in specific gold, GC. And not a whole lot really to report, assuming you watched the previous video, because the levels I mapped out once again came into play here, so the power of charts. But if you did watch yesterday's video, I had an area of resistance right there at 778, and sure enough, that's right where the price came up there and couldn't quite get any sort of continuation. So that remains the key breakout point moving forward into the next session, 778. If that level can be broken, then, I'm not saying the price shoots straight up to that level, but you can see here, areas of resistance really thin out, and you could certainly get some good upwards momentum with a break of 778. In terms of areas of support, ideally speaking, in terms of, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price could stay up there above these moving averages there, purple line being the 50-period moving average, pink line being the 200-period moving average. But even if the price were to drop below there, you still have other areas to support, with the next one being right there at the 750 mark. Now, if the price comes down to 750 and breaks through there, that's where things start to get sketchy. I'm not going to say the entire chart's destroyed, but I will say that that would imply that the bears are starting to gain quite a bit more control and get that much more strength. But as of right now, pretty choppy day, just hanging around in this area here. So all eyes on 778 moving into the next session. So let's see if the price can break through it. So that wraps up the analysis, but before I go, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for my private community. So if you're looking for futures traders and quality and serious futures traders, and I say serious because, no, this is not a free room, but it's an amazing what a very small price tag of $99 can do to keep out the drama queens, to keep out the trolls, and to create a very serious environment. And that is not $99 per month. That is $99 every 3 months. So if you break down the math, that breaks down to $8.25 per week. And as I always say, I'm very, very confident that over a week's period, you'll get at least $8.25 worth of value. So like I said, if you are into futures traders and you want to surround yourself and network with other serious futures traders, then definitely check out the community. Just go to clayjar.com/team. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy these analysis and you want to just support the channel in a super free and easy way, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hitting the subscribe button really does help out. So thanks for watching. Take care.